Right now, somewhere on this planet, cars exist that can literally outrun a bullet. Okay, not literally, but close enough that I'm genuinely unsettled. See, we're talking about production cars. Things you can actually buy, not some NASA rocket sled bolted to a set of wheels in a government facility. Real cars, with number plates, and air conditioning, presumably. The fastest production cars available today are doing speeds that would have gotten somebody arrested for lying about them 15 years ago. And I kind of want to walk through all of them because some of these are absolutely insane in ways I did not expect. There's one on this list powered by electricity, which I'm still trying to wrap my head around. We'll get there. But first, let me tell you something. This list is going to make you feel slightly poor. Sorry about that in advance. Now here's the thing about the Jesko Absolute. That 330 miles per hour figure is theoretical. Nobody has actually done it yet in a verified two-way run. And this is where it gets complicated, because the next car on the list actually went and did something rather extraordinary. In September 2025, on a runway in Germany, the Yangwang U9 Extreme hit 308 miles per hour. Verified, documented, on record. And it's electric, full electric. 4 electric motors, combined output of 3,000 horsepower. 3,000. I genuinely had to recheck that number because I didn't believe it the first time. The electrical system runs on 1,200 volts. Your average family electric car uses maybe 400 volts. So this is essentially 3 of your family EVs stacked on top of each other and pointed at the horizon. Only 30 of them will be made. Prices are expected to start somewhere above £200,000, which for the world's fastest verified production car is almost reasonable. Almost. I mean, think about what 308 miles per hour actually means in practice. At that speed, you would travel the length of a football pitch in about a tenth of a second. The tires are spinning so fast that the rubber compound heats up in ways that most tire manufacturers would politely describe as concerning. And this is a battery-powered car doing it, silently. There's no roaring V8 to give you an emotional cue that something dramatic is happening. You just get thrown backwards into your seat while the world outside the window apparently starts bending. That's the description I've read from people who have been in high-speed electric runs, and honestly, it sounds genuinely unsettling. Impressive, but unsettling. The SSC Tuatara is next, and this one has a bit of a story. American company SSC made some very large claims about top speed a few years back. The claims then fell apart because of GPS data errors, which is the kind of thing that makes a press department want to disappear into a hole in the ground. So they went and did it properly. Verified tests in early 2022. Official result was 295 miles per hour. The engine is a 5.9-liter twin-turbo V8 with a flat-plane crankshaft making 1,750 horsepower on E85. It's got active carbon fiber ailerons at the rear that actually change shape during a high-speed run. Carbon fiber. That changes shape. They borrowed that idea from aerospace engineering, which feels about right for a car doing nearly 300 miles per hour. Only 100 will ever be made, and the price is around $1.9 million. Then we've got the Hennessy Venom F5, named after the most destructive category of tornado, because of course it is. The engine is a custom 6.6-liter twin-turbo V8 they call the Fury. Output is 1,817 horsepower. It's rear-wheel drive, no hybrid system, no batteries helping out, just a truly enormous engine strapped to a carbon fiber chassis and pointed at whatever's in front of it. They've recorded 272 miles per hour in testing at a proving ground in Florida. Now, 272 doesn't sound as scary as 308 or 330, but the Hennessy people are very keen to point out that the driver ran out of runway. So there's potentially more in there. That's either extremely exciting or a little bit worrying depending on how you feel about these things. Now, the Bugatti Chiron Supersport 300 Plus. This is the car that started the modern 300 miles per hour conversation. It was the first production car in history to break that barrier, hitting a verified 304.77 miles per hour. That happened in 2019, and it still matters. The engine is an 8.0-liter quad-turbocharged W16, 16 cylinders, 4 turbochargers, 1,578 horsepower. And unlike most things on this list, you can actually use a Bugatti Chiron as a real car. It has leather, real thick, expensive leather. Sound deadening, comfort. It does 0 to 62 miles per hour in 2.4 seconds and then keeps going in a way that feels faintly illegal. This is the car that somehow manages to be both a speed record holder and something a person of sufficient wealth could conceivably drive to dinner, which I find genuinely impressive. Or insane. Probably both. The Ginger 21C is one I genuinely wasn't expecting to enjoy reading about as much as I did. Because it looks absolutely mental. The 2 seats are arranged one behind the other, like a fighter jet, and there's a little bubble canopy on top to contain the occupants. Jinger says this helps with aerodynamics. I believe them, but it also looks like something from a Mad Max film. The powertrain is a 2.88-liter turbocharged V8 with hybrid assistance. Total output 1,250 horsepower. It does 0 to 60 in 1.9 seconds. Top speed is 253 miles per hour, and it lapped Laguna Seca in 1 minute 25.44 seconds, which broke the previous production car lap record. That lap record had been held by the McLaren Senna, so this little bubble car in tandem seating configuration just went ahead and humiliated one of the most celebrated track hypercars in recent memory. Respect. Something I keep coming back to with all of these is the tires, because everything else gets talked about endlessly. The horsepower, the aerodynamics, the top speed, but somebody had to make a tire that doesn't simply disintegrate at 300 miles per hour. At those speeds, the centrifugal forces acting on a tire are genuinely extraordinary. The rubber compound has to manage heat in a way that normal road tires would completely fail at. Michelin and a few others have spent enormous amounts of money developing rubber that can handle this, and nobody really talks about it. The Jesko Absolute, for example, runs Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2R tires. Those tires are arguably one of the most impressive engineering achievements in the entire car. I feel like the tire engineers deserve a bit more credit here personally. Here's a thing that's worth flagging. Most of the people who buy these cars will never come anywhere close to their actual top speeds. To do 300 miles per hour, you need a runway that's at least 10 miles long, completely flat, closed to all traffic, with ideal ambient temperature and atmospheric conditions. That's basically a military installation or a specially organized record attempt. Your average hypercar owner is not doing 300 miles per hour on their way to the shops. They are doing, 80 miles per hour on a motorway in Germany, feeling extremely pleased with themselves. Which is fair, but it does mean these top speed figures are really a measure of engineering ambition more than practical performance. They're how manufacturers prove what they know how to do, rather than what buyers will actually experience. What's genuinely interesting about where this has all landed in 2026 is how completely the competitive picture has changed. A decade ago, this was basically a Bugatti and Koenigsegg conversation with everyone else trailing behind. Now you've got an electric car from a Chinese brand holding the verified top speed record. You've got an American car that might be even faster once they find a runway long enough. You've got a French luxury brand sitting comfortably on its 300 miles per hour history while remaining one of the most desirable objects on Earth. And sitting somewhere in the middle of all this is Chinger, a company most people had never heard of, going around shattering lap records in a car that looks like a prop from a science fiction film. It's a lot to take in, honestly. The price range across these cars runs from roughly $1.9 million at the accessible end, if $1.9 million can ever be called accessible, up to $3 million or more for the Koenigsegg. That's before you factor in maintenance, insurance, specialist tires, and finding somewhere that will actually let you drive the thing properly. These are not automobiles in the conventional sense of the word. They're rolling engineering laboratories that happen to be road legal. And every piece of technology developed for them, the active aerodynamics, the advanced materials, the high-voltage electrical architecture, eventually ends up filtering down into cars that normal people can actually afford. Which is a nice thought to hold on to while you look at a $3 million price tag and feel your stomach do something unpleasant.